Hey there, how y'all doing? Welcome back to The Writing Life. I'm your host, John Hartness. This is Puck. Say hello to the internet, Puck. Puck gives not a single crap about the internet, but isn't he beautiful? He's my pretty boy. He's so irritated right now. He loves to come in here and meow and gripe whenever I'm sitting at the desk, but he hates for me to actually pick him up and pay attention to him because, well, cat. So it's Friday, February 8th. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm a little bit of a sweaty mess. It is unseasonably warm even for North Carolina. It's probably, 65 degrees outside, and I just finished loading the truck for ConTagion, which is the creative professional development conference that Falstaff Books is hosting tomorrow. And I might be a little nervous, and I might be a little fried. It's been a long week. I've had a lot going on, both in my personal life and professionally. My dad's been in the hospital all week. He went in Saturday for a malignant pleural effusion, which is a buildup of fluid around the lungs, and they had to drain a little over a liter of fluid from his chest. But he's home now. I just got word a little over an hour ago that he is home, and he feels better today. He's in less pain. Yesterday was pretty uncomfortable because he had a chest catheter put in. So basically they tapped his chest like a beer keg, and every once in a while a nurse will come in and boop, drain off the fluid from his chest. I think that sounds horrible, but not breathing sounds worse. So what are you going to do? So my dad has a spigot in his chest. I've been going down to Rock Hill, which is from my house to the hospital is about 45 minutes to an hour each way, depending on traffic. I've been going down there pretty much every day. I don't think I went, I don't know if I went Sunday. I don't remember because the days kind of all blur together. But yeah, I've been doing the hospital run. And my sister lives with my dad, and she's his primary caregiver, so she's taken most of the shifts. Both of my other brothers have sat in and helped out quite a bit, and I've done a few hours each day. So he's home, and he's comfortable, and he's resting, and that's what we're going to get. He's 90 next week, so he's doing all right. But that's been both emotionally and physically draining. I'm working on Quincy Harker Book 5. I was trying to get 4,000 words a day. We didn't make that. We haven't gotten close to that this week. I finished the first 8 chapters or so I've done about 17,000 words. We're still on track to get the book released probably April, maybe late March. It's going to depend on what editorial looks like and how the next couple of weeks flow as far as the word count goes. There is a new Black Knight book coming in April, so I don't want to step too close on the heels of either release because I don't want to kill the momentum of either project. But yeah, we're getting ready for ConTagion. In about 4 hours, I'm going to meet up with some folks for dinner. Jeff Strand, who's one of our workshop presenters. I'm thrilled to have Jeff come up from Atlanta to present for us. He's going to talk about how to persevere in a difficult profession. And he's a great guy. He's a hell of a writer. If you like any of my stuff and you haven't read Jeff's, you need to go check it out. Because there's only about half a dozen of us writing in the horror comedy field, really. And Jeff's been at it longer than I have, and he's fantastic. Then tomorrow I'll be over at the Queen's University Sports Complex at 7 o'clock in the morning to load in. We lost one of our workshop presenters today. Faith Hunter had to drop out of the convention because of a severe illness in her close family. One of her family members has gone into hospice care, so she's got to deal with that. And Misty Massey is stepping up to replace Faith. It's going to be an incredible panel that Misty will present, but I hate to lose an instructor the day before the event, especially not a New York Times best-selling instructor. But what are you going to do? People are awfully inconvenient when it comes to picking when they're going to die. I laugh about a lot of this shit because that's what Southerners do. I've never been anything but Southern, so I don't know if other people do it. I certainly don't mean to downplay what Faith and her family are going through. She and I have talked. She knows that I love her and wish her and her people nothing but the best. But I'm going to make jokes because that's what I do. But the truck's loaded. I have learned something today. It's important to try to learn something every day, Cheerins. I learned exactly how many 6-foot folding tables you can fit behind the front seat of a 2008 Chevy Silverado. The answer is 4 if they're the folding tables, if they're the 6-foot folders that then fold in half for ease of carrying. I know this because I have 3 behind the seat of my truck now, and there's room for about 1 more, plus the 4-foot folding table that's behind the truck. Also, there's 2 hand carts in my truck and 8 tubs of books and assorted swag. Plus a couple of tablecloths. I don't know if you can hear that cat. Oh, look, there he is, just poking along. Come here, buddy. Nope, he sees me reaching down for him to pet him. He's like, nah, piss off, bro. I didn't want to actually interact with you. I just want to make sure I'm heard. So yeah, the truck's loaded. Got a couple of bookcases in there too. And I've got some great help coming. Okay, hold on. The Queen City Harry Potter Alliance is going to hang out with us, and they're going to help vendors load in. We've got 30 craft vendors, all handmade, all local artisans. We've got 30 authors and artists displaying visual art and fantastic books. So it's going to be a great time. We've got some fantastic workshops. I'm going to do my new workshop called 10 Things You're Doing Wrong with Your Writing That Are Keeping You from Getting Published. There are 15 things on the list because I'm a writer. I'm not a mathematician. Hey, you guys want a quick preview of that? Here you go. Let me open up the PowerPoint over here on another screen. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. All right. Here we go. This is number 13. So, one of the things that new writers don't realize when they're working on their first book, or even their second or third or fourth book sometimes, is that you don't have reader equity yet. What I mean by that is, yes, I know that Brandon Sanderson writes 300,000 word books. I know that Pat Rothfuss takes years between his books. I know that in Spinning Silver, Naomi Novik uses more adverbs than I would ever let a rookie author get away with. I also know that these are 3 of the best writers working in science fiction and fantasy today, and they've got the track record to prove that they can do that crap. You don't. It's very simple. Until you have proven that you can tell a story and that you can complete a narrative and that you're a solid writer with the basics, you don't get to break the rules willy-nilly just because, oh, well, Brandon Sanderson writes great big books, so it doesn't matter that the publisher's guidelines say 120,000 words. I'm going to send him this 300,000 word epic. Delete. Rejected, unread. because Brandon Sanderson is a #1 New York Times bestseller. Naomi Novik is a New York Times bestseller and a Nebula Award winner. And oh my God, Spinning Silver is a beautiful book. I love that book. I'm listening to the audio right now, and the audio narrator for it is incredible. Patrick Rothfuss is one of the best writers in fantasy today. They can get away with that shit. You can't. So pay attention to the things that people are telling you not to do. And it's not that no one can ever do them. It's that you haven't built up reader equity enough to do them. It takes time to build up that trust with the readers and with editors to let them know that you're not going to take them down a path that is either boring or overtrodden. Is that a word? I don't know. Somebody tell me in comments if overtrodden is a word. If it's not, I don't care. I'll make it up. It's fine. It won't be the first time. I wrote poetry for years. My point being that once you've published some books and written a lot of books and completed some books, we'll trust you more. Every time you complete a project and you write a good book, you buy yourself equity with your readership and with your editorial staff and with your publisher if you're working with a publisher. Case in point, Amazing Grace. I wrote that book with a prologue. I tell young writers, don't write prologues. I reject almost everything that comes into Falstaff books with a prologue, because most new writers don't know how to write a prologue. Amazing Grace didn't need a prologue. The prologue sets a tone, and it gives you color and texture. Book would have worked fine without it. It's also my 15th book. I kind of figured some crap out by the time I did Amazing Grace. So maybe I learned something. Maybe. And maybe you can learn something too. So before you go off, I'm not saying don't take risks. Certainly take risks. Theodora Goss's first novel, The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, was incredible. And it explored a lot of different things about voice and point of view and breaking the fourth wall. And it was an amazing book. Also wasn't her first piece of published fiction. She was an award-winning author of short stories, novellas, and novelettes before she published her first novel. So she had built up that equity with the community as a whole, which gave her credibility to sell that book. Somebody fresh in off the street tries to sell that same book, they may have a very difficult time. Somebody comes in with Nebula and Locus Awards on their mantle, they're going to get a little more leeway. They get to break a couple more rules than you, because they've earned it. I'm sorry, that's not necessarily fair. It's not necessarily judging a book on its own merits. And welcome to grown-up land. Books don't get judged on just their own merits. So, newsflash. So do your work. Don't break all the rules with your first book. Save some for book 10. You still want to have rules to break when you're done. All right, that's a little preview of my workshop tomorrow, which I have titled 10 Things I Hate About You, and then in parentheses on the PowerPoint slide in decreasing font, I say something like, I don't really hate you, I just made a joke. How could I hate you? I don't really know you. And why are you still reading this when the font type's getting this small? Because I thought it would be funny. Because it's my convention and I've built up the equity to be able to do that because I'm paying the bills. Well, the attendees and vendors are actually paying the bills, but you get the idea. So I hope you guys have a great weekend or whenever you're watching this. And hey, y'all be good to one another, all right?